Hi, my name is Jerry, and I wanted to welcome you to our Clarity Facebook page. It's the Fellowship of Common Sense. Now, as far as the issue of common sense goes, the Google definition of common sense is good sense and sound judgment in practical matters. Most of the people don't display that these days, and it's sorely lacking in society. And that's a main issue that we wanted to address and maybe help people to start using more of these days. Um, when I was younger, I wanted to be a preacher, and to that end, I took some courses through the mail. I was going to be, when I was younger, I was going to be a Baptist minister, and to that end, I got a minister certificate from the Berean University in Protestant Studies, and I also got a certification in metaphysics from the University of Divine Metaphysics in Glendora, California. Now, as far as the issue of metaphysics goes, metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that deals with the reality that we live in. Simply put, it's the search for truth. Most of all, I'm a realist, and I believe that if you can prove something with facts and back it up with the resources, that how can you argue with it or deny it, right? And I think that's a lot of the problems that we face these days. We just take anything anyone says and we believe it or try to promote it. And I'm a firm believer that you should have to be able to back up what you say with some type of proof. Okay? Let me see. My idea for clarity was watching all the craziness that I've seen in the news, people going into schools and shooting people, and just our lack of empathy for our fellow man, or caring about our neighbors or what's going on with those around us, and only focusing on ourselves and what's going on in our own little lives. And we shouldn't be like that. We should care about other people and what's going on. We should stand up for those that are weaker than us, and especially stand up against all the hate that's being preached out there, hating people because they're different than us. They grew up different, or they're a different race, or a different sexual preference than we are. You know, it's just madness. And God created all of us. If you really believe that, then why would you hate someone else because they're different than you? It's contrary to common sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. And people will try to use the holy books to back it up, you know. God never promoted hating people, regardless of what someone else says. I believe that we are lightning bugs, and we should act that way. Now, each one of us is a light unto the darkness. See, we're illuminating the darkness. I even have a shirt for that. See, we're the different lightning bugs. And if we all come together, then we're going to be a greater light. Together we're greater and we're stronger, and we can affect change and make good positive things happen and illuminate the darkness and help people see the way. A lot of evil in the world is perpetrated because of the ignorance that's around us. People just have stupid ideas and they won't learn about things or the way things really are. And that's where a lot of our problems come from. A lot of us are so worried about going to heaven in the future that we let the world around us go to hell, and we don't care about it. And that's another form of ignorance. There was an old fable about having a frog in a pot of water, and you gradually turn up the heat a little more and a little more and a little more till eventually the frog ends up boiling to death because it didn't sense the change all around it. And I think that is representative of how we are in society. We accept all this madness as being okay, or just a matter of doing business. That's just how things are. We don't have to accept that. You know, everybody wants to complain about how things are, but I would ask you, what are we doing to make a change, to change things for the better? Things are the way they are because we let them be that way, and because we give it our okay, and it's not okay. We need to start standing up together for each other and for people that are weaker than us, and just show that these things are not okay. And we can do it. We can change the world we live in if we're willing to put the effort into it. What about the world our kids and our grandkids are going to grow up in? You don't care about that? I think that you do. But you can't sit around and complain because things are bad if you're not doing anything to change it, right? things have become so contentious that even the Republicans versus the Democrats has just got out of control. A lot of it's government misdirection. So it's like the old shell game. If they get you looking over here, then you're not seeing what they're doing over here, you know? And there's a lot of bad things being done and perpetrated. And we're also focused on things that don't even matter, that we miss the real evil that's going on. There was a movie in the past, George Orwell's Big Brother from 1984. He was talking about how government's going to become so intrusive in our lives that they watch over every single thing that we do, and we lose a lot of our civil liberties. We lost a lot of them with the 9/11 terrorist attacks. They issued the Patriot Acts, and we gave up a lot of our civil liberties in that. And people want to feel safe, and I agree we should feel safe, but are we going to give up all of our freedom and all of our civil liberties to do that? I would hope not. I know right now that a lot of the technology, like even in the Bible, they talked about 666 and the number of the beast. Well, that technology has been perfected, and they are using it and testing it in our cell phones right now. They have the GPS trackers. They know where you are 24 hours a day. They could look at your cell phone and see where you're at. And eventually we'll end up getting chips in our hands, and they'll be able to track you even if you leave your phone at home or whatever. They'll know where you're at. I know on our cell phones nowadays, they listen into conversations, and you can be talking about what restaurant you would like to go to or what trip you would like to go on, and the next thing you know, up pops an ad for that restaurant or that hotel you were talking about, because certain words trigger a reaction, you know? And to me, that should be alarming to people. People should think about that and those kind of things that are going on. It's not okay, and it's not normal. There's even facial recognition software when you go downtown, like for the rib cook-off or some kind of public event, and the cameras that are all over the place scan the crowds, and they can see who you are, and if you have a warrant for your arrest or whatever, they just come down there and pick you up. Now, I understand that that's a good thing as far as like being able to locate the criminals and stuff, but it's still another erosion of our rights. So it's a two-edged sword. We need to be careful about that. Not only are we going to address issues like that, there's other things that we're going to be addressing also with the future message list. By no means is this a all-inclusive list, but just to give you an idea on some of the things we're going to be talking about in the future. Like for next week, I want to do one about it's called The Least of Us, and I guarantee it'll be not only entertaining but informative. Another one of the messages is common sense, not so common. Another one's on hate. Another message is on reincarnation and deja vu. And another one's intelligent design versus atheism. Another one's natural law, and another one's 3 levels of consciousness. The list is too long to mention right now, but those are some of the ideas and some of the messages I'll be talking about. And we want you to participate and be a part of this with us and join in with us. And I want to thank you very, very much for joining us today. And I hope you become one of our regular followers. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.